flow, but we started from the gutter. I like cash money, yeah, baby, I'm a stunner. I'm a boss, I can do what I wanna. Your last was do what it.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. The enthusiasm for football here on the East Coast always in the air. These folks are ready as their guys get set to match up with the Denver Broncos. The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the first carry for Chase Edmonds. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. This Washington defense, Charles, terrific in the victory a week ago.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. They'll set up to throw. That's out to the flat for Edmonds. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down. And punter Sterling Hoffrichter out now on 4th down. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Antonio Gibson. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Second and 11. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Finding room to the 20. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. Second and 14. They'll drop to throw. And it's caught. A good pickup there. 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, are typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches. He'll drop to throw. And the pass is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Jerry Jeudy. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Broncos have taken the early lead. On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos.
Makes the score Broncos 7, Washington.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Take it in at the 3. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. They're going to look to throw. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Jalen Smith, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. He'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, as we get ready for 3rd down, let's go back and recap here. The sack on the first play of this drive, that threw a wrench in what they were trying to accomplish because they were compelled to throw the ball on 2nd down. A running play was not in the works. And that incompletion set up another passing down here on 3rd and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Taken in at the 22. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
And he'll throw this one away, but I don't think he was out of the pocket. No, here comes the flag. In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They'll set up a throw. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch.
And going for Hamler, but this is intercepted. Picked off at the 38. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
They'll look to throw. He's got it. Touchdown. O.J. Howard. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And Washington now an extra point away from tying this thing up. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And we are tied here in the 2nd quarter. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown, so 7-7 the score as they begin 1st and 10. Now left side on the swing pass. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Well, this offense will definitely utilize him as a weapon out of the backfield because he was close to 100 yards receiving a week ago. So they will try to get him the football in space as they did right there.
They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamin Davis. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. Space to run past the 20. Touchdown, Washington! Antonio Gibson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And Washington has taken the lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. That 7-0 lead of theirs is short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
The Broncos on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 10. This will be caught. Judy. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Back-to-back gains of 17, and they are really on the march now. It's a first down. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Flush to his right. Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense. My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Here's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A great effort there. There to make the grab. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game. Now McManus for the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And, Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match at a football game. Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown. Here's a 2nd and 7. Escaping in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space. No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. They'll let one go deep for Howard. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half. Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do
and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
Well, they're watching the film, and it's working. Coming up on 2nd and 7. They'll look to throw here. That's going to be caught by Judy. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Back to throw here. He'll swing that out to Edmonds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd gone to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds. They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. A 33-yarder from the left hash. And McManus able to put it through. And they take a 17-14 lead. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow.
Either way.
Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. Dancing away at the 35. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
That's a nice throw there, and he's obviously feeling pretty good because, remember, he had a touchdown pass on the last drive, and here he comes out throwing again, and they wind up getting good yardage and a first down right out of the gate.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. And some room to maneuver. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs, and that one certainly fell into the latter category. Now, that deserves a couple exclamation points.
And that's a second touchdown run of this game, and this one, add a high degree of difficulty to it as well. I'm absolutely marveling at how effortless he makes this look. I mean, let's face it, he had a long way to go, but how about the vision, the creativity with the football in his hands? It's really something to watch.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, so far on this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. On play action, they'll throw. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Chase Young in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. Here's Sterling Hoffrichter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. .47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. Touchdown, Washington. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And I'm telling you, nothing will light up a crowd more than a play like that. Here in the stadium, all eyes were on the receiver streaking downfield, and everyone was thinking, throw it, he's open. What a connection there for the touchdown.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. On the screen, this is Edmonds. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. He'll look to throw. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. So we've reached halftime here in our nation's capital with the Washington football team on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Yeah, Coach, certainly no shortage of action in those first 2 quarters. Definitely got to work on my touchdown calls, so we'll see how much voice I have left for the second half here. So Washington in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
They run again with Breida, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. Now back to throw. And he will find his man, Samuel. Touchdown, Washington! Curtis Samuel, 89 yards. And Washington going to add on to their lead. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable in his second season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Got an open man here, and it's K.J. Hamler. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Back to throw. Got a man, it's Judy, complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Second and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
They'll look to throw again. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. Chase Young able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll drop to throw. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. He's picked off at his own 46. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
They'll run on first down. Gibson. He's down inside the 10 to the 8. And it comes on a gain of 8.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
35 tonight. 3 bucks.
On second down, here's Gibson again. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line.
Well, if this defense has any hopes of getting back into this game, they've got to start right here and keep these guys out of the end zone. That's a good step one on that play.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Give me some. Give me some. Here we go. 35 tonight. Check.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Touchdown! Antonio Gibson, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And Washington able to capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They run it again with Williams. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. When you think about this strong safety position, they're the more bulkier guys in the free safety, but that time great athleticism to hustle in and break up that play.
And sometimes all of your best laid plans of play design, your X's and O's, They can't always account for individual effort defensively, and this was one of those times. Just a terrific play to hustle over there and get the running back to the ground.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. It's complete to Williams. And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. The DN, Jonathan Allen, making sure his presence is felt. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Sliding out of the pocket. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. It looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down inbounds. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 14. Flush to his right. Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep left side. They've got his man. Complete. It's a big play there for the Broncos. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it. And sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front. And to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what 2nd down brings. They'll set up a throw. That ball is caught. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. The 30. And they're going to have this way down deep in Denver territory. A big play there on the catch and run. Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position. And that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Brings up 2nd and goal. The Broncos 11-yard line.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. A give running right, Gibson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 112 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. You know what? I know it's 4th down and they've got a big lead, but go for it.
Yeah, and why not, right? Because they have the big lead. But don't you have to have a little bit of admiration for these guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've been shoved around this entire game, and they're making a nice goal line stand here. It would be fun to see them stop them on 4th down, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's like putting whipped cream on broccoli at this point.
So what you're saying is they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to get it, aren't they?
I would. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one fielded at the 5. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. He'll drop to throw. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle, complete to Judy. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Gibson here running out of the gun. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Gibson again. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 3rd down, here's Gibson. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And this is going to be no good. He missed it off to the left, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the fourth quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They begin the drive with Williams. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle, feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense is pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game, and all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
He's going to let it fly. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. And finally out of bounds down near the 10-yard line. A huge play there for Denver.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
42 yards on the ground for him so far.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. Javonte Williams. Excellent work there to get in on the touchdown run. And the Broncos get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. Extra point from McManus is good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Well, this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Here's Gibson to start the drive. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And they take a knee. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up